Hey guys, what's up? And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Crissanna, and if you're new here, welcome, and if you're an oldie, welcome back. So for today, it's going to be a super exciting video. I'm going to do something super bold, super dramatic, and the palette that I'm going to be using for that is going to be the Revolution times the Nightmare Before Christmas eyeshadow palette, and I'm super excited. I'm not really sure if I've ever watched the movie. If you guys have, let me know down in the comments below. But this palette was just calling my name, and I really don't have a Halloween themed eyeshadow palette. So I figured this one would be great. And I wanted the ColourPop Hocus Pocus, but of course it was like sold out immediately after it launched. So I decided to pick this one up. And I actually wanted to do this a few days ago, but I just wasn't sure if I wanted it. But this is the Jack palette. So first things first, I'm not really sure how I feel about all the shimmers. I think I counted like 9 shimmers out of 36. Let me go ahead and count again. Or I mean 9 mattes out of 36. Okay, so I think I see 11 mattes out of 36 eyeshadows. So I'm not really fond of that. And I noticed that can't talk. And I noticed that with some of the mattes, they look like mattes, but they have like a little bit of shimmer in the top. I guess we're just gonna play around with this and see what eyeshadow look we can create. I am going for like a more dramatic look today, but I guess I'll just see where my eyes take me. I know with the last palette I got, the Friends one, I just really wasn't that fond of it. The pigments like kind of like sucked. I did only use a few shades out of it, but I really wasn't fond of it. So I guess we're just gonna play around with this one and see, you know, what my final thoughts are. So first things first, I'm just gonna grab my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Eye Primer. Why do I always want to say poreless? This is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. I always want to say poreless because of the face primer, but this is what it looks like. So this one's in the shade Cream. So I'm just going to start applying this all over my lid. To do that, I'm going to take a cream shader brush by Jessup. Just kind of a nice flat brush. Start popping this all over the lid. And I decided to wait to do my face makeup today just because I'm not really sure how these eyeshadows are going to perform. And I wouldn't want to wear a full face of makeup and have like a ton of fallout. So I figured I would just wait. So now I'm just going to grab my Wet n Wild translucent setting powder. Just going to set those lids. Any setting powder will work. So I've been really debating on like doing like a spooky Halloween look. I just don't know what I do. I'm not that artsy when it comes to like drawing and stuff like that. But I've been looking at like some stuff on Google, some pictures. So I'm definitely planning to recreate something. Just don't know what. If you guys have any good ideas of something kind of like more simple and easy, let me know, because like I said, yeah, I really would like to do a look. Okay, so this is what both sides of the eyeshadow palette look like. So I'm more so leaning toward this side over here, just because this side there is a lot of shimmers. So down here, these three, this one and this one, aren't shimmers. This orange one, it looks like a matte, but it's definitely got some shimmer to it. So I guess I'm just gonna start playing around with some colors. So I'm first gonna go in with this shade called Mayor. And this is just gonna be my transition shade. So I'm gonna take a blending brush by BS Small. Literally just gonna start popping this kind of right here. I'm just gonna get in a little bit closer just so you guys can see everything on my eyes. I don't know if I'm seeing something right, but this almost looks a little bit patchy right there. This shade is very muted though. I can barely even see it on my lid. The only spot I can see, like I said, is right here where I'm seeing a little bit of patchiness. So now I'm gonna go and grab this shade called Pumpkin Song. Just gonna use that same brush by BS Small. I'm gonna start popping this kind of in the crease, but a little above as well. Now this shade is a lot more pigmented than the last. The last one was really weird, and like I said, it kind of left weird like patchy spots. Just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye, kind of getting that right into the crease, but not really worrying about keeping it right in the crease, kind of just letting it flow all around the crease area. Just literally blending that back and forth. Because I want this shade to be super soft in the moment. We might go back and darken it up in a little bit, but I want it to be really soft right now because I just don't know what other colors I'm going to use yet. So now I'm going to grab this shade called Ghoulish. And for this shade, I'm going to grab a petite brush by Jessup. So this brush is a little bit smaller because I want this color directly into the crease. Just going to start blending that right through the crease. So really slowly and kind of softly, I'm going to start building that color up. gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. So now we're gonna go in and darken up the outer V, and to do that I'm gonna use this shade called Sandy Claws. It's kind of a deep red shade right here. So to apply that, I'm gonna use that same petite brush by Jessup. Just gonna literally start kind of blending that right on the outer V. And I'm also noticing that Sandy Claws does have a hint of shimmer in it, which I thought was a pure matte, but it's not. I mean, as for now, it's not looking like horrible. I'm really not loving it. I don't know. I feel like the pigment's off. There's shimmer in this shade when I wanted it to be like a matte. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going and see if we can create a decent look out of this palette. So I'm going to go back in with that shade Pumpkin Song and just pop that right back here. So the shade Pumpkin Song, the orange one, is definitely by far my favorite shade so far. It's not even like an orange. It's kind of like a burnt orange, I guess you could say. So I guess I'm going to go in for some shimmer, see where that leaves us, see what else we need to add, what else we need to blend, and all that good stuff. Now, what do I want to do for shimmer? I'm like totally not sure. I'm really leaning toward this shade called What's This? Kind of like a silvery white shade, which is really, really pretty. Or this darker gray shade right here is very pretty too, called Graveyard. So I guess first I'll go in with the shade Graveyard, this dark one. And then if I don't like it and it's too dark, we'll go back in with the shade What's This? So at first I am going to try it with a dry brush, and I'm going to use my flat one by BS Small. Okay, one swipe, very, very good. Definitely feels a little bit dry. It doesn't feel like a buttery shimmer, which most shimmers do kind of feel dry, but that's one thing that I am noticing right now. And also another thing, it's looking a lot more kind of like a bluish gray shade than like a dark gray shade. And you know what, also you guys, I think I'm actually going to cover up that red shade and we're going to go with a matte black, because I'd really want to see how that looks. I feel like that would look a lot better than the red. So I'm actually going to grab a different flat brush and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go into this shade called What's This? And I'm literally just going to apply that over top of Graveyard. Just because I kind of wanted more of like a silver. I didn't really want a blue shimmer. So we're just going to see what this shimmer shade does. And boy, that is freaking beautiful. Wow. And it's so, so pigmented. So the Graveyard shade was kind of unnecessary. Necessary in a sense because it gave more of like a darker undertone to that lighter silver. But it is not a necessary step if you don't want it to be. But wow, okay, like look at the difference. This one has the light silver over top and this one doesn't. I actually like the one with the light silver way more than the dark silver / blue color, I guess you could call it. Because in the pan for me, it definitely looks like kind of like a dark silver, but on the lid, it is definitely more of like a blue silver. But I'm actually shocked to see how buttery and soft the What's This shade is. It's so, so creamy. Okay, guys, and like I said, I am going to go with the black, so please, please, please wish me luck on this step. I hate playing with black for the sense that anytime I do, it just freaking sucks, and it comes out looking like crap. So I guess we're going to go on with the shades Hinterlands. Gosh, I'm really, really scared. Pray for me. And I'm going to take this Luxe pencil brush by Jessup. So to start out, I'm literally just going to do it really, really softly. Kind of just like, kind of smoke it out. Because I might not even have to take away all of that red. Maybe just kind of darken it up with this black. Okay, not looking bad. So I'll probably go back with that red and get around the edges and kind of blend it through the crease. But as of right now, I'm not hating it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so now that we have our black all nicely placed, I'm going to go back in with that shade Sandy Claws, this red one right here. Using that same Jessup Luxe Petite brush. I'm just going to softly go up around that black. I don't want to take away any of that black pigment. So I'm just going to do it super lightly. So now I'm just going to go back in with the shade Pumpkin Song. I'm going to use that same brush that we put the red on. And I'm just going to start dragging it right here very lightly just so we can get a better transition from the darker shades to the lighter. And then to blend the black and the silver, I'm going to grab the shade, probably grab the shade Sandy Claws. I'm just going to use a tiny pencil brush by Energy. Just going to pop that right here. Okay guys, so as right now, I really am liking how this look is turning out. I do have to go get my false lashes, do the rest of my face, and then I'll be back and we can do the bottom waterline. Okay guys, we are back. Lashes are on, full face is done. Now we're gonna go back in for the bottom waterline. I'm gonna go back into that palette. I'm gonna grab the shade Pumpkin Song. And I'm gonna apply this with a detail liner brush from Jessup. I'm using this brush just because I wanna keep it as close to the lash line as I can. Then we will go back in and smudge it out. So now I'm just going to grab this shade called Ghoulish. I'm just going to put that right under Pumpkin Song. So now that we have that bottom waterline nice and smoked out, I'm then going to go with my NYX eyeliner pencil in the shade Brown. Just going to line my waterline. I'm going to attempt to do this without like pulling my face down. So I guess we're going to see. And I keep touching my eyeball. Okay, it's not going anywhere, so I'm just gonna tug it, my eye down, my finger. I'm gonna go on with my mascara and get those lower lashes. So now for lips, I'm gonna take this lip pencil by NYX and it's in the shade Peekaboo Neutral. And then for lipstick, I'm going to take this one by Wet n Wild. This is in the shade Cedar Later. Okay guys, so here we have it. Here is the finished look. I will give you a close-up. What do you guys think about this look? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you did like this look, give this video a big thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Once again, the palette we used was the Revolution Times Nightmare Before Christmas. So final thoughts on the palette is just from using it one time, I really love how this look came out. I had to kind of dig a little bit for the pigment and all that, but I did really love the silver shade, the light one, which would be this one right here. I really did love this shade. And then I also love the red and the black and all the mattes that I use. So yeah, I definitely loved all the mattes. If I could change one thing about this, it would be to limit the shimmers. Shimmers are good, but mattes are even better because you can only do so many looks with so many mattes. You know what I mean? If you have tons of mattes, you can always change it up. So for right now, I would probably give this a 7 out of 10. I'm probably going to play with it more. I might even do another video. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I just love the way that kind of reddish and black like mixed together. I just absolutely love it. And for me, this is super dramatic. It might not be for you, but for me, it is. I'm not used to playing with darker colors, especially black, because when I do, it just looks like complete crap. So I'm actually kind of proud of myself, and I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video. I will leave this palette link down below. You can purchase it at You can purchase it at Ulta for $22 or probably on the Revolution website. I actually went to my local Ulta to pick this up, and I walked inside and I'm like, do you have this certain palette, the Jack one? And he's like, anything that we have from Revolution and the Nightmare Before Christmas will be on this shelf. So I look around, I'm like, well, it's not here. So I go onto my phone and I type Ulta.com and I look up and I see that the palette is in stock at this particular store that I was at. So I went up and I told him, and he's like, oh, okay, let me go back and find it. After about 20 minutes, he finally came through and found the palette. So I was super excited. But yeah, as always, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. And if there's anything you want to see me do next with this palette in particular, or any other palette, or any cool eyeshadow look, let me know down in the comments below. Also, I'll leave my Facebook and my Instagram in case you want to message me through there. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.